Hello and welcome to Sonic Lore, History of Mobius. In my previous retelling of the Archie Sonic story, I left things off with Sonic rejoining the Freedom Fighters. Now, it's time to learn about Sonic's wacky adventures. Our story begins with Robotnik setting up a Sonic-shaped piñata. He vented his frustrations about his failed plans to the piñata, and then he took his anger out by destroying it with his cane. Robotnik was upset that he had sunken so low, but that's when a SWAT-bot from his research and development department came in. The SWAT-bot presented a plant to his master, which enraged Robotnik. Robotnik reminded the SWAT-bot about his rules as he continuously bashed him in the head with his cane. Robotnik nearly destroyed the SWAT-bot, but he stopped when he was informed that the plant wasn't organic. It was a mechanical creation named Crude. Robotnik took a look at the mechanical plant and was delighted to see that it was as the SWAT-bot said. He grabbed the SWAT-bot by the neck and asked him how the Crude could be used against the Freedom Fighters. The SWAT-bot called in a customized burrow bot and told Robotnik that it could plant the Crude seeds in the Great Forest. He then had the burrow bot demonstrate how the process would work. Robotnik was pleased by the SWAT-bot's plan and trashed him so that he could take credit for it. Meanwhile, Antoine looked at Sonic with envy while believing that he was discussing strategy with Sally. Antoine was jealous of the attention Sonic got from Sally, so he left Knothole. Antoine thought of ways to woo Sally until he thought of giving her some flowers. When he came out of the secret entrance, he spotted the Karuzu and decided to pick it. Shortly afterward, Sonic and Sally heard Antoine scream. Sonic grabbed Sally and quickly rushed out to Antoine's aid. When they exited the secret entrance, they saw Antoine entangled by the Karuzu. Sonic immediately jumped into action and freed Antoine with a Sonic spin. He quickly grabbed Antoine and everyone retreated to Knothole from the overgrowing Karuzu. Sonic and Sally carried Antoine to Rotor to see if he could help untangle Antoine. Rotor accidentally caused Antoine to faint when he pulled out a chainsaw to trim the table Antoine was lying on. Rotor pulled the Karuzu off of Antoine and threw it into a bucket. While everyone helped Antoine up, Tails walked in and saw the Karuzu. He walked up to the mechanical plant and watered it, much to everyone's horror. Sonic and Co. feared that the Karuzu would overrun Knothole now that it was nourished. Meanwhile, Robotnik watched as the Karuzu had taken over most of the Great Forest through his telescope. He was happy to see his plan was nearly complete. He then summoned a squadron of buzz bombers to attack the Freedom Fighters once they had emerged from the forest. At that moment, the part of the Karuzu the Freedom Fighters possessed was suddenly electrocuted. Once it was safe, Sonic said that the stench smelt like an electric fire. That's when an idea dawned on Rotor. After taking a piece of the Karuzu and analyzing it, he found out about its mechanical nature. He figured out that the water had short-circuited it, and Sonic knew that it was one of Robotnik's schemes. Sonic planned on dealing with the Karuzu in the Great Forest with a garden hose, but Sally told him that it wasn't necessary. She asked Tails to read Sonic the weather report. Tails stated that a thunderstorm was going to hit the Great Forest, which it shortly did. The Karuzu was destroyed, and Robotnik's plan failed once again. Sometime later, Sally and the rest of the Freedom Fighters talked about calling Sonic for something important. After some confusion, Sally had everyone call out Sonic's name together. Sonic showed up immediately and questioned everyone with a list of emergencies. Everyone gave the same response to Sonic's questions, so Sonic asked Sally why they called him. Sally told Sonic that they needed him to fold up the map of the planet since no one else could do it. Rotor then informed them that they were pinpointing the location of where Robotnik would make a big speech. Rotor showed Sonic that it was going to take place in Casino Night Zone. Sonic left in fear at the mention of Casino Night Zone and said that it was a scary place. However, he claimed that it wouldn't stop him and he headed off to the area. Sonic soon arrived at Casino Night Zone. When he entered the casino, he was amazed at how cool the place looked. While exploring the area, he discovered that the speech would take place in the casino's main room when he read a sign. He tried to enter the main room, but he was stopped at the entrance by a swap bot who wanted a tip. Meanwhile, Robotnik prepared for his speech and asked the swap bot about the status of the main room. The swap bot told him that it was almost a sellout. Robotnik was displeased to hear that, but the swap bot said that only one seat was empty. Robotnik went to take a look at the area while talking about his latest scheme to rule Mobius. He was shocked when he saw Sonic at the entrance, but he calmed down and decided to use Sonic to test his newest prototype invention. Before the speech started, Sonic dashed past the swap bot and grabbed a seat. Robotnik appeared on stage and showcased his new badnik named Orbinaut. He then had Orbinaut knock out Sonic with one of his maces. When Sonic regained consciousness, he found himself encased in a glass ball. Robotnik ordered his swap bots to place him inside of a giant pinball machine. Once Sonic was inside the pinball machine, Robotnik used the plunger to send Sonic into a world of hurt. Sonic was ejected from the machine and said he couldn't live through it again. Robotnik was pleased to hear that and wanted to put Sonic through the experience a dozen more times. He ordered one of his swap bots to put Sonic back in the pinball machine, but the swap bot informed him that someone had won some money in the casino. Robotnik was mad about the news and went to deal with the person. While Robotnik was away, Sonic came up with a plan to get out of the ball. He used his spines to cut against the glass like a glass cutter. Robotnik soon returned and had Sonic reinserted into the pinball machine. When Robotnik used the plunger, it shattered the glass ball Sonic was encased in, thus setting him free. Sonic used his sonic spin to wreck the pinball machine. Robotnik ordered Orbinaut to attack, but Sonic deflected Orbinaut's maces at Robotnik and the swap bot, causing them to be knocked out. Sonic later planted a bomb in the casino and ran out before blowing it up. Robotnik was sent flying back to Robotropolis, and Sonic returned to Knothole after finishing his mission. The next day, Robotnik was scheming while playing darts. Crabmeat was happy to hear that Robotnik had another plan and wanted to help out. However, Robotnik grabbed Crabmeat and said that he was nothing but a failure. He then released Crabmeat and told him that he could help him. Crabmeat was happy to help his master, but it turned out that he was just a test dummy for Robotnik's newest badnik, Coconuts. Coconuts destroyed Crabmeat with one of his explosive coconuts. Robotnik complimented Coconut's skills and sent him to eliminate Sonic. Later that day, Sonic and Tails were running around the Great Forest. Suddenly, an explosion created a hole in the ground. Tails asked Sonic how he made the hole, but Sonic said he didn't, and that's when Coconuts answered Tails' question by throwing another bomb at them. Tails couldn't react fast enough, but thankfully, Sonic saved him. Tails wanted to know who was throwing bombs at them, and Sonic answered his question by pointing at Coconuts, who was sitting on top of a palm tree. Coconuts threw another bomb at them, but they avoided it by jumping out of the way. Coconuts began making fun of Sonic, which made Tails mad. Tails attempted to chase after Coconuts, but Sonic stopped him and said that they weren't playing his game. He then told Tails that they were going to play a game from his childhood, Monkey in the Middle. A short time later, Coconuts was curious about where Sonic was. Suddenly, the palm tree he was sitting in began to shake. He fell out of the tree and learned that it was Sonic who was shaking it. Sonic and Tails surrounded Coconuts, but he refused to give up and threw a bomb at Tails. At Sonic's command, Tails hit the bomb back towards Sonic. Sonic then passed the bomb towards Tails, and they continued passing it to each other. Coconuts demanded his bomb back, so Sonic passed it to him, causing the bomb to explode in his face. Later on in Robotropolis, a swap bot delivered a package to Robotnik. Robotnik gleefully opened it and discovered Coconut's remains inside of it. Robotnik was shocked to learn that coconuts failed him, but his two new creations told him to leave the job to them. Robotnik agreed that his new Batniks, Scratch and Grounder, were fit to destroy Sonic. He sent them to eliminate Sonic and reminded them that he would constantly contact them. Before they left Robotropolis, Grounder got a call on his phone. Scratch answered it, and it turned out that the caller was Robotnik. Robotnik called them to remind them about the price of failure. Soon afterward, Scratch and Grounder made their way to the Great Forest. The two Batniks used a book to follow Sonic's trail, which caused Grounder to fall into a trench. Grounder transformed his conical arms into propellers and got out of the trench. Scratch and Grounder continued following Sonic's trail, unaware that Sonic had left a false trail for them. Sonic told Tails to head back to Knothole, and Tails did as Sonic told him. Meanwhile, Scratch and Grounder had followed the trench to a sheer cliff. Scratch mocked Sonic for thinking they would walk over the cliff, but Sonic surprised them when he cut off part of the cliff with his spin attack. Grounder transformed his arms into parachutes and landed safely, but Scratch wasn't so fortunate. Sonic told them to go back to Robotnik, but Grounder transformed his left arm into a rope and lassoed Sonic by his neck. Scratch yanked Sonic down to their level and tried to take credit for capturing him, which upset Grounder. They got into an argument, and it quickly turned into a fight. Sonic used the opportunity to escape from the rope. He then ran circles around Scratch and Grounder until a fissure trapped them. The fissure caved in, and they were stuck in the ground. Grounder's phone rang, and Sonic answered it. Robotnik was surprised to hear Sonic on the phone and was enraged that his plans were foiled again. On one peaceful day, Sonic was collecting power rings. While gathering more rings, he soon came across a cluster of them, something he had never seen before. Before he could get them, a hidden catapult shot him into a hole in the sky. Sonic traveled through a tunnel until he crashed against a wall. When he recovered, Sonic asked which way was up, and two people suddenly answered him. He was shocked to see them, and they told him that their names were Al and Cal. Sonic was confused about their names, but suddenly, a hole opened up below him and caused him to fall. As Sonic fell, he pleaded for Al and Cal to help him, but they just made jokes. Another hole opened up, and Sonic scraped against the ceiling. Sonic became angry and accused Al and Cal of working with Robotnik. However, the two had no clue who Robotnik was and said they never heard of him. Sonic was suddenly spun around and was about to be sent through another hole, but he managed to stop it. He asked Al and Cal if they really were unaware of who Robotnik was, and they gave him the same answer as before. Sonic realized that the power rings he grabbed before had sent him into another zone. Al and Cal told him that messing with power rings was dangerous, and he suddenly began falling again. As Sonic fell, he begged Al and Cal to join the Freedom Fighters, but they dismissed them with jokes. Sonic soon returned to his zone and fell face first on the ground. He landed in front of Antoine, who was looking for him. Antoine asked Sonic what's up, which caused Sonic to become angry and chase him. The next day, Sally and Rotor watched Sonic on a monitor as he made his way to Knothole at incredible speeds. Sonic suddenly appeared behind Rotor, which confused him since Sonic's image was still on the monitor. Sonic apologized for scaring Rotor, but Sally claimed that Freedom Fighters didn't scare easily. However, that changed when Sonic informed them that Robotnik had a bomb. Sonic recounted overhearing Robotnik talk about it when he was dealing with some swap bots in Robotropolis. Everyone feared what would happen if Robotnik detonated the bomb. Sally said they needed to demonstrate their resolve for a bomb-free world, which gave Sonic an idea. A short time later, a swap bot told Robotnik that there were protesters outside. At first, he thought his swap bot said that there were protestants, but he was surprised when his swap bot corrected him. Robotnik took a look out of his window and saw Sonic, Sally, and Rotor with anti-nuke signs. Robotnik ordered the swap bot to gather his forces so that he could ambush Sonic and Co. When Robotnik had his troops, he charged at the freedom fighters, but he slammed into a wall. It turned out that Sonic had Sally project a film of them on the wall to fool Robotnik. Soon afterward, Sonic and Sally had Rotor disguise himself as Robotnik and impersonate him to obtain the bomb. Sonic opened the door and saw Crabmeat outside and told Rotor to call him. Rotor approached Crabmeat and ordered him front and center. Crabmeat jumped into Rotor's hands and wanted to know why he called him. Rotor told Crabmeat to bring the bomb to Robotnik's office. Crabmeat commented about Rotor's breath, but Rotor responded that it was to order Crabmeat around, and then he politely ordered him to do as he said. Crabmeat figured that something strange was going on since Robotnik never said please before. Moments later, Crabmeat came back and told Rotor that he had the bomb. He also asked Rotor to follow him. Rotor told Sonic and Sally to stay back while he sees what Crabmeat wanted, but Sonic thought it might be a trap. Rotor followed Crabmeat and was ambushed by Robotnik's badniks. Sonic wanted to help, but Sally stopped him from blowing Rotor's cover. Rotor came back safely with the bomb in hand and his disguise removed. Rotor kept pushing for them to return to Knothole, but another voice revealed that Rotor planned on destroying Knothole once he got there. Everyone was shocked to see that it was Robotnik. Robotnik claimed that Rotor was Robotnik in disguise, but Rotor said he wasn't. Robotnik took off his mask to reveal he was Rotor, and Rotor took off his mask to reveal that he was Robotnik. The two continued taking off each other's mask, causing Sally to be confused about which one was which. Sonic got tired of the act, so he used his super speed to remove their mask until their disguises were gone. Sonic and Sally grabbed the bomb and helped Rotor back to Knothole. When they returned to Knothole, Sonic carefully opened the box containing the bomb. It turned out that it was nothing more than bug bomb spray. Meanwhile, in Robotropolis, Robotnik's office was covered in bugs. At some point, Sonic was playing baseball by himself. Tails watched him and admired Sonic's skills. Sonic hit the ball with his bat and tried to catch it. However, he suddenly slammed into a wall. Tails came rushing to Sonic's side and asked him if he was okay. Sonic said he was, and he wanted to know what he ran into. He looked up and was surprised to see that it was a Robotnik-themed stadium. A SWATbot appeared and informed Sonic and Tails that the stadium was built by his master. Sonic asked the SWATbot about Robotnik's scheme, so the SWATbot told him that Robotnik was challenging the freedom fighters to compete in the Robotnik Olympic Games. The SWATbot said that if Sonic's group could win 1 out of 4 events, Robotnik would change Mobius back to normal. However, if they lost an event, then everyone would be turned into robots. The SWATbot then delivered a taunting message from Robotnik, which made Tails angry. Sonic ignored Robotnik's taunt and accepted his challenge. Sonic went back to Knothole and told his friends about Robotnik's deal. However, Sally said it had to be a trick since Robotnik never kept his word. Rotor claimed that he did keep his promises when it came to his personality. Sonic said he knew that Robotnik can't be trusted, but it was worth the risk since they couldn't lose. Antoine asked Sonic why they couldn't lose, so Sonic boasted about being the best athlete on the planet. Tails asked if he could join the games, but Antoine said he couldn't, and then he started showing off his fencing skills. At first, Tails was upset that he couldn't join the group, but he cheered up and decided to build a sculpture of Sonic. The next day, Robotnik and his forces watched as the freedom fighters entered the stadium. Robotnik asked his SWATbot if he was sure that Sonic wasn't wearing his special sneakers. The SWATbot replied that he was positive that he followed his master's instructions. Before the games had begun, the SWATbot followed Sonic. Sonic took off his sneakers when he went swimming. That's when the SWATbot stole the sneakers and replaced them with energy-draining sneakers that Robotnik had invented. Robotnik praised the SWATbot and asked him about what he did with Sonic's sneakers. The SWATbot told him that he threw them in the trash. Robotnik became angry at the SWATbot's blunder and destroyed it with a hammer. Afterward, the games were ready to begin. Most of Sonic's friends cheered him on, except for Antoine, who was worried about what would happen if they lost. Sonic was confident that he would win all the events. He then tried to boost his friends' confidence by showing them some warm-up laps around the track. However, before he could go anywhere, he suddenly collapsed. Sally rushed to Sonic's side and asked him what was wrong. Sonic said he didn't know, but he felt like all of his energy was gone. Hearing that made Antoine fall into despair. Robotnik was happy to know that his energy-draining sneakers had worked. He figured that he was going to win the games since Sonic couldn't compete, so he had his SWATbots bring out a portable roboticizer. Sally stepped in and said that she and the rest of the group would take Sonic's place since he couldn't compete. Robotnik enjoyed the thought of seeing the Freedom Fighters lose and accepted her challenge. The first event was the long jump. Antoine tried to jump as far as he could, but he failed and splat speeding. Sally tried winning the swimming event, but she was no match for Octave. Finally, Rotor showed off his strength with the weightlifting challenge, but a SWATbot easily outclassed him. Robotnik reminded the Freedom Fighters that they lost almost all the events. The only one remaining was racing, but they would have to face off against Robotnik's fastest Buzz Bomber. Meanwhile, Tails was looking through the scrapyard for parts for his sculpture. That's when he found Sonic's sneakers. Tails hurried to the stadium to return them to Sonic. Back at the race, Antoine was losing to Buzz Bomber. Robotnik celebrated his soon-to-be victory, and all hope seemed lost. Suddenly, Sonic reappeared and was back to top form. Sonic told everyone to stand back, and he zoomed to the track. Buzz Bomber was close to winning the race, but he wanted to wait for Antoine to catch up before crossing the finish line. That's when Sonic showed up and used his speed to create a large cloud of dust to blind the Badnik. Buzz Bomber decided it was time to cross the finish line before Antoine could. When the dust cleared, Buzz Bomber thought he won the race. However, Sonic revealed that Buzz Bomber had flown back to the starting line, giving Antoine time to win the race. Robotnik realized that Sonic had his sneakers back and ordered his robots to destroy him. Before they could do anything, Sonic destroyed the roboticizer with a sonic spin. The roboticizer was about to explode, causing Robotnik and his robots to flee. Thankfully, Rotor pulled the plug before the machine could explode. Sonic thanked Tails for saving the day and said that Antoine would have to admit that Tails was a good athlete. Tails thought that Antoine might give him fencing lessons, but it turned out that Antoine had fainted from the race. And that's it for this section of Sonic Lore History of Mobius. If you enjoyed it, then please sub, like, comment, or just stick with me for more. Thank you.